Valve has been getting cooked for their Steam Machine. You can see the top response to Valve's tweet here about the Steam Machine, saying, "Your machine is as weak as your marketing," and this is coming from a diehard Valve fan. Right below that, others saying, "Weaker than a console, but twice as expensive. I hate Windows, but not that much. Powerful? LMAO. Not for that price." As Valve has recently made a number of tweets about the Steam Machine being here, saying you can sign up now, showing 2 offerings, and more on their official page on Steam for this. Here are the specs and the price points, which have both been greatly criticized. People saying that this is certainly not worth it, and even laughing at how the final option, the final tier at $14.28, is the only one that includes a controller. And a user showing a benchmark test that displayed the Steam Machine almost at the very bottom. All throughout the comments, you can see that Valve is getting roasted for essentially everything about the Steam Machine. Packer Girl saying, $10.49? That's rent money. I'll stick to my PS4 and Switch. Another person talking about the advertisement saying, this wasn't necessary. You could have just shown kids enjoying a game. And another similarly saying, screw that. Your ads are terrible too. Sell to your target audience. You think these freaks are your target audience? Lol. The ad that people are mocking comes from the same page we took a look at earlier. If you scroll a little bit down, you can see there's the full ad. Plays for a few more seconds, then it just, refreshes, or not refreshes, loops, I should say. People also mocked this section as well, where Valve had typed, "There's an LED strip, y'all." So like I said, people are basically roasting everything about this. Valve even put out a statement addressing some of the issues, which we'll get to in about 30 seconds. First, a couple more responses here, a little bit more public reception. Top comments like, "You had a chance at $800, world domination at $600, at $1,000, you've ticked it all away. And I'm sorry, but $1,000 for a base 512 gigabyte Steam Machine without a controller is simply not worth it. The rise of RAM prices has ruined hardware prices. Steam Machine just happens to be a good product, released in a very wrong time." Valve ultimately putting out a statement about the price points, saying that they source their components from manufacturers around the world, and how over the past year or so, their prior data on estimated price points were off, as the price for parts changed significantly, especially for RAM and storage components, even saying that their original goal for the price point of the Steam Machine was no longer viable, and that the prices being shared now reflect the current state of world manufacturing and components that they've secured over the past 6 months. Furthermore, some components they were completely unable to get, with zero availability, which has also affected the number of units that they've been able to produce at launch. However, some would defend the Steam Machine, saying it's not just Valve, showing a tweet that talks about MacBooks and iPads and how those prices have also increased significantly. A top response here saying, "Ah yes, slowly being priced out of my hobbies." And another one that says, "Tech consumers are screwed," and how AI tech has screwed everyone that's not filthy rich. Specifically also saying, "I don't know how the frick people are going to be gaming in the next 15 years. Now look, I agree that the prices suck, but this comment's also a bit ridiculous. Like, I don't know how the frick people are going to be gaming in the next 15 years. I don't know, play what you already have. Like, I could gladly never buy a new upgrade, a new game, and I'd be completely happy. I'd be able to live life happy ever after. But I've never been the sort of person that chases tech. For example, I was using an 8-year-old phone up until a few months ago when it finally broke and just wasn't usable anymore. I was like, okay, I guess I'll finally upgrade this thing. Went all black and made this crazy noise. I thought it was about to blow up in my hand. I was going to toss it, and then it finally just stopped altogether. But, my point is, I'm good. These companies want to keep overcharging us with their overpriced products. I'll just not buy it. I'm not going to give up gaming because of that. I'm not going to think how am I going to be gaming in 15 years? No, I'll happily just not buy their products and play what I already have. Anyways, that's the latest. Let me know what you think about all that stuff, and especially the main topic, which is, of course, the Steam Machine Valve part of the video. And I'll leave it there. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one.